Princess Juliana International Airport, and it's a privileged few, or a privileged crew. It is only certain contractors, this according to what is brought out here, that get to work at the airport. So government owns a company, but there are only certain companies that can get in on the inside. So, Madam Chair, we would like for the Minister to explain to Parliament what kind of procedure is followed by the airport when contracts are given by third parties to work at the airport, to carry out projects at the airport. For instance, we see the airport has embarked on the construction of the roundabout. How is that done? Is it that the airport decides they're going to build a roundabout, beautify it with plants, beautify it with pelicans, whatever else, and invite a contractor, or is it a public bidding procedure that follows? Is there any procedure in place whereby if a project exceeds whether it's 50,000, 100,000, whatever the amount may be, if government has to, if that project then has to go on public bid? Madam Chair, I'm trying to race through some of these questions that I have, and seeing that we only have 20 minutes in this round and 10 in the second round, Madam Chair, I would like to raise the issue that also made headlines and publicity that has to do with the reimbursement of funds based on a briefcase of the supervisory board director, chairman of the board, that a briefcase was stolen and that the airport reimbursed the chairman. Why I raise this is because apparently as a result of this, the financial director, it appears, was either sacked or asked to take a step back. And going back to the issue of the so-called leaked documents, did any airport employee, was any airport employee fired because of this? We hear somebody was suspended, pending an investigation, and now we hear that somebody has been terminated because of this. So we go back to the briefcase, Madam Chair. The question is, does the airport have a policy to reimburse any employee of the airport for any personal documents or possessions that are lost or stolen if they are on a business trip? So if somebody travels on behalf of the airport, if they lose their pocketbook, they lose their clothes, they lose their suitcase, or it is stolen, then the airport writes them a check based on the fact that they have lost same. Madam Chair, I see my time is up. I've had a number of other questions, but I guess I'll have to deal with those in the second round. But I look forward, Madam Chair, to the answers to at least those that have been posed now in this first round.
Thank you, MP Mr. William Marlin. MP Mr. Labega has the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And protocol having been served, I want to, for the sake of time, go right down to it. Madam Chair, I want to begin my discourse here this afternoon by stating, just like Member of Parliament, the Honourable William Marlin stated a while ago, Madam Chair, the National Alliance requested the Minister to be here to ask some questions to the Minister with regards to what has now become Airport Gate, and to bring clarity to the situation. We requested the Minister to be here. The board is here, and we welcome them. I hope that no one takes this as an attack on the board, because one of the things that we certainly don't have is the of these local that we see. absolutely not. Madam Chair, one thing that I want to make clear is though that I have a job to do, and that job I will do. Madam Chair, play the game, don't take it clear. Getting down to the remarks, as I want to mention, Madam Chair, it is clear, it is very clear, Madam Chair, that the current limbo status of many of the staff at the principal school at the National Airport is not a favorable one and not something that anyone would like to find themselves confronting. I'm sure the airport, for all the years that we know, and for all the years that the staff at the airport know, is one of the places that one would consider to be a stable job. One would consider that when you find yourself at the airport working, that job security is certainly one of the aspects that you would not be concerned of. I'm sure that is not the case today. Apparently, that's not the case. And why are we here? We wanted for the Minister to bring clarity to issues such as that. That is nothing to be upset about. That is nothing to take issue. That is our job. I'm sure. Beginning with staff of the airport. I believe a member of Parliament touched on it. So I want to again, Madam Chair, I am not in dancing with stars, so I don't dance in here. You can ask questions and come directly. Madam Chair, it is rumored, indeed, that firing and or suspension has taken place at the Princess Juliana International Airport. Madam Chair, I care to ask the Minister, is this true? And what, why are those suspensions and or firing taking place? Madam Chair, a job, and I speak on behalf of every employee at the airport. Madam Chair, a job ain't easy to find here in Somalia. In fact, our local people, for all accounts, the behavior, in particular by this state government, is one of your either overqualified or you're underqualified. But I'm sure the amount of people that have already been left jobless by this UPS government. Think of the children, how much children the results second. To now say that there is instability and firings and people being left jobless, where they can't feed their children because of actions by this UPS government ain't something that I should ignore, and I will not ignore it. When a mother can't feed her child, that is not something that you should expect me to ignore. When a mother can't pay her GED bills, put clothing on her children, and when a mother has to hear her children crying for hunger because she has been fired, for whatever reason, it's not something that you should expect me to ignore. So I want you to tell me, Madam Chair, so when you were asking myself, why? Why are the workers at the airport all of a sudden in a status of limbo? Madam Chair, I want to know with regards to job security. This issue of outsourcing. Is it true that the airport is outsourcing security to checkmate? I'm Chair, it concerns me. I need answers from the Minister on that issue. Is it true? Because when you're going to outsource security, and I can only know by your answer, you're going to outsource security at the airport, then all of a sudden you're telling me that my people ain't going on. Because what I know is that St. Martin people are the ones representing security in that job at the airport. That's all I know all my life. I don't know that will be the case with checkmate. I don't know who they employ. You give them a contract, they're going to have 50 people from that country, 60 people from the other country, 70 people from the other country. How many of them are going to be from St. Martin? You answer my question. So if you're engaging in that, we're going to set the record straight. And if you think St. Martin is going to be taking that job, those jobs, then you have a problem with me. Madam Chair, is the airport engaging in the outsourcing of this Sawaliga lounge? Is this so? And is this indeed efforts by the airport to save costs? I find that to be somewhat ironic if that is the case, because that is what is rumored to be the reason. Because of the airport could purchase property to the tune of 3.8 million, and certainly could afford to run lounge. For the other to the land for 2.3 million families. I would be off on the but so I'd like to be corrected. Madam Chair, on the issue of the fire department, I would like to know that if indeed the airport is planning to turn this important function over to, let's say, the government fire department, are there any discussions going on? And the reason I ask that, not that I would have too much of a concern with this, but I would ask this question because as far as I would understand, the government firefighters are local people, local St. Martin is not proud of that, so I wouldn't have much of a problem there. But if I was wrong, it's clarification to be brought to me in terms of will they be highly trained, as I know that they would need to be certified, and the fire department, firefighters at the airport, they are certified firefighters, so I need some clarification in that area. And the issue of safety must be a concern of mine. It's a responsibility that I carry as a member of Parliament. Madam Chair, is it so that staff of the airport are being evaluated in what manner? Who's carrying out this evaluation? Is it so that the linkers or one linkers is carrying out this evaluation? I would like to know, Madam Chair, because can we justify why an evaluation of our people have to be carried out after bringing the airport to being the most modern century airport, running for all the lives all of a sudden, it appears that our people, ability and capabilities are questioned. You're evaluating the people of St. Martin. Please clarify it for me. I am troubled by this, Madam Chair. If I am being told that the issue of upgrading, an upgrading process is taking place, okay. But across the board, evaluation based on what? And I think the staff at the airport, the proper explanations given, I think they too would appreciate that. I think they too would appreciate that, Madam Chair. We won't take them on my classes and this is water. So, Madam Chair, I ask these questions because I don't like our people, and in this case, specifically the employees at the airport, I don't like them to be living in a state of limbo. Anyway, I'm sure I specifically want to know from the minister with regards to the airport. I'm sure if a local man or woman wants a little space on the airport, open a little store, clothing store, a boutique, a little snack at a restaurant, whatever have you, want a little space on the airport. Who really have the doctor? Who really have the concession for this aspect of the airport? And how did these people get this concession? Is it true that a particular family, political family, has the concession? Is that so? Is that what the people elected this individual to go to office and ensure that their family owns the airport? Is this the reason why they want complete control? 8 seats or more. So that nobody will tell them what to do, who to give it to. I'm jail. I need that. If I get an answer from me, I'll get a motion. I'm going to call you back. Then I'm going to call you back, but you're going to answer that question. I want to know who owns the concession rights and how did this come to be? Explain it in detail. Because this hypocritical thing about seeing some days and nice village and this and that, well, they destroy some way. Look at the disaster in the lagoon community. Look at the disaster. But love seems to be. I'm sure you will fool some of the people, some of them, you can't fool all of the people, all of them. Guarantee you ain't fooling the people that's in it. Guarantee that. The influence man even I don't. Suddenly fooling. I'm sure. To further elaborate on this space and the airport, the concession rights at the airport. I'm sure. When since did this happen? How did the family? Madam Chair, I told you I'm a street walker, I don't dance. I feel like a dancing here because I ain't really called the Navy yet. But I have to, in the second round, I will, because you know I ain't scared. And I want to know, Madam Chair, what kind of prices these people have to pay to this concessionaire? Did the price go up? I'm trying to know that a lot of our local people own the spaces and the airport. I understand that they were kicked up. Some construction was concocted by the political leader immediately after the election. They went down, they took over the airport, and they decided You gotta go to my family, going to own these things, and blah, 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 and they're gone. History. Same thing happened to the Philippine workers. But they were representing the people. Representing which people? Representing the family. And themselves. Let's say it, call it is a slave. If you don't like me, you can find me in different positions. I'll try to cut them too. Don't get back to the boat here. Don't play here again. Chair, I was a bit upset. To be honest with you, I have lost focus. Upset because I don't understand how this happens. And this little item. And then, Madam Chair, let me make it for the record clear. Let me make it for the record clear. The National Alliance has no problem with the leadership, with the director, president of the airport. No. Madam Chair, our intention of calling this meeting is not to fire her, like the former minister did when she was at the tourist office. Absolutely not. We have no intention. We are not calling to the head of the director. We certainly not calling to the head of nobody on the airport supervisory board. We are asking for clarity. Clarity. And if it's not clarity, it turns out that actions need to be taken where heads would roll if proper governance is not followed and you didn't do your job and you acted in accordance, not in accordance, and violated the rule of law. That's not my job. That's the job of the by the White House. My job is to ask for clarity. What takes place thereafter? It's not my business. I ain't here to fight nobody. I'm here to put nobody out of the office and bar them from going to the office. Not me, not the National Alliance. Let me make that clear for the record. I'm sure I want to, because at the moment I really want to get some answers on this issue. All the questions that I ask are important, particularly the employees, job security, and their state of limbo. I'm sure I am even more interested as to who owns the concession rights to rent out, lease out space on the airport. I want to know how this happened. I want to know why. Don't carry me around in circles. Tell me, Mr. Minister, how uncles, aunts, cousins became owners of the people's patrimony. Tell me. You don't tell me. I know that I will take actions that need to be taken. So you can tell me. Tell me. Chair, I see your time is up. Before I say something that I really don't want to say, lose my cool, I'm going to yield the floor and await the minister's response to the questions and concerns that I raised. And I ask, Madam Chair, that those answers be given to me today, not tomorrow. Give them to me today. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Mr. Labega. MP Mr. Richardson, have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A hearty good afternoon to my colleagues, the Minister, support staff, the director of the airport. Madam Chair, I sat here and I listened. Madam Chair, I also read for the past weeks, months, the issue about the airport. Madam Chair, you know what saddens me more? Is that, and to see how this airport is now dragged into the media all over again, and you ask yourself, why? Madam Chair, before I really go into some of my questions, I need to make it very clear to everyone. The issue, we all must be careful also, is that the airport is a company that went in order to refinance to improve the airport. Madam Chair, there was another big issue about the ratings for not only countries in Marlin, but also for the well-being for the airport. So, Madam Chair, when I've seen and listened to all what is transpiring, it saddens me that a company that we all are so proud of as former employees, to see today it is being dragged in the public domain the way it's being done. Why? And you ask yourself why. Madam Chair, what we are seeing, it is something that I thought would have never seen today. At the end of all what transpired over the years. Madam Chair, I've seen one of my colleagues who is still there, Mr. Richardson. I left him at the airport. The good gentleman is still given the utmost to the airport. Madam Chair, the airport have always been a family. The families have always been together, stick together, where that's concerned. We all go in and out the airport, and beforehand you would hear the cries of the employees many years ago. Today, you hear how things are progressing, what is taking place at the airport. And sometimes it saddens you to hear the whole togetherness is gone through the door. Totally through the door. And you ask yourself, what has happened to the family-oriented part of the airport? I guess, Madam Chair, it has become competitive. It has become more business-like. And the family feeling is no longer the feeling at the airport. We see the newspapers every day for the last couple months. We've heard about the issues that is taking place at the airport, and I am happy that we are having this meeting here today, because I do believe that some clarity should be given once and for all to the general public on really what is transpiring at the airport. Should be. And this meeting is not about tearing down any individual. I'm not here to tear down the company. This company went through, changed its name. The airport went through huge sagas before. Huge. Madam Chair, I don't believe that that is what we envision this airport to be going through today. We have built one of the best state-of-the-art buildings, terminals, facilities for the people to use and enjoy. We must continue to improve. Madam Chair, I don't want to be here too long, but I have some very important questions for the Minister in order to provide the Parliament. There are some serious issues after the leak of documents to the public, Madam Chair, that has created some serious issues out there. And not only has it created some serious issues out there, but it also has created some insecurity of some of the employees who's working there. Madam Chair, to the Minister, through you, and the Minister explained to Parliament what is the policy in investigating issues that take place at the airport in the case of documents leaking to the public. What is the policy of the airport? Can the airport, Madam Chair, through you, to the Minister, explain to Parliament what is the policy in investigating matters like these? And if the airport does not have none, why not? How soon will the airport be implementing these policies? The reason for this question is that we understood Parsons was interrogated by a lawyer at the airport. Now, clarity must be given on how these procedures follow. Because today we are hearing from the employees that the interrogation was so severe because some of them had absolutely nothing, and all of them who don't know with what transpired with the leaking of the information. Madam Chair, we have heard some of them even went to the doctor because of the pressure that was put on them by the lawyer. We must know what is the policy of the airport where it pertains to investigating these issues. Very simple. That is my major concern, the well-being of the employees, their health, the family-oriented of that airport. The next question is, how does management plan to bring that family back together to united how it used to be in the past? Madam Chair, I speak to the employees, and the family feeling is no longer there no more after all what is transpiring down there. Madam Chair, another question, and this one was brought to me a long time ago by a friend and family member in Simpson Bay, that some clarity must be given. Is the airport in the process, or are they still in the process of sending out forms to do appraisal report on Parsons property on the southern side, which the homes and everyone live in, is the airport still in the process of sending forms, doing appraisals on their personal properties where it's concerned. I got a call, some clarity must be given. Who gave the airport the authority that these persons came in order for them to do appraisal on their property? That all of the homes in Cincinnati was doing appraisal where that's concerned. Is the airport still in the mind of going to purchase all those properties on the southern side of the airport? Madam Chair, I remember once we had the master plan when I was there. I don't know the exchange where there was agreement that all those properties on the northern side of the Cincinnati room, that side, knew long in advance that those properties would have to be given back in whatever form and fashion, whatever decisions, deals are made to the airport. They cannot build and develop it and change with any structures that are already existing. Now we are hearing that on the other side, where the people of Cincinnati live all their lives, and the only thing they got left is that appraisals are being done to move them out. The question is this still being done? Why was the reason for this? Has the master plan of the airport now changed? That now the people who live in Cincinnati is one day no longer going to be owning their own home there no more and will be moved out. And this Parliament be please provided with information where that's concerned. Madam Chair, I had a letter also that I forgot it that it was sent out to all those individuals based on persons coming to appraise their property. Madam Chair, another issue, and my issue is the people's issue at the end of the day. Madam Chair, through you to the Minister, before 10-10-10, and I must ask this question because I think too long this has been played out. Before 10-10-10, the Executive Council had issued a casino license to a local operator of St. Matthew. This gentleman has been beating heads left, right, center, back and forth in order to be able to execute his project. The question to the Minister, when will the individual be given the permission and the space to operate in the airport as an anchor tenant based on the decision of the Executive Council at that time? Or is the airport in the process of doing their own casino themselves? Can the Minister please explain to Parliament if that is the case? And then the issue of what was being said in the newspapers about the cost for sculptures or national board. Madam Chair, I ain't come here to bash the price because I hear other prices in the past, other sculptures, way more than that. And I believe, fairness be fairness, can the Minister please provide the Parliament what was the cost for other sculptures in the other roundabouts, in the Festival Center, in the Dutch Quarter roundabout, and the Phillipsburg roundabout with the South Pickles there, the roundabout uptown, all other roundabouts that statues are in, what was the price for those? Fair must be fair, and if we're going to criticize one, let's find out how much the others go for. because even the roundabout instance in Quebec, that too, we hear a huge amount, almost doubling what the airport paid for in the past. So I believe we need to be clear where these things are concerned. Like I say again, I ain't here to tear down no one, but I believe clarity must be given where these things are concerned. Because I want to know if truly these are the prices we are paying for these roundabouts, then I think we should start managing them in order to do things for our people. Because it seems as if they have a high value now. They have a huge value. Bronze, whatever you may call them, then we should start looking and seeing what are our value in all of these statues that we have. Because, like you say, the price can only continue to go up based on the material that is used. Based on the material that is used. Because, Madam Chair, I'm sure we're going to hear some figures. What was bought by a number of those statues there, what was paid for. Yes, Madam Chair. We're going to hear figures. If we have to get them here today, through the roof, what those statues out there was being bought for. And one time I remember now at the council, it was said that some of those statues and what was purchased was $500,000 at that time. $500,000. But I want clarity. I want clarity today. And I know the minister, they're going to take you some time, Madam Chair. To call his colleagues and fill up those papers and see where we will get some of those answers for that. Madam Chair, the well-being of our employees and our government-owned companies is important to us. And I ain't here to say anything negative about anybody who comes to St. Martin and makes St. Martin their home and feel proud of St. Martin. But I know every time I walk through that airport, I know who those security officers they are. I know who they are. We all know who they are. We know who the workers are. I am saying that is our key to our success, our people. We must take care of our people. Madam Chair, I hope I could get some answers to those questions that I posed. Because I don't want to feel that Parliament is just here not to ask questions. Parliament is here to receive answers. So I look forward to the Minister giving some clarity to Parliament on the issue at hand. Thank you.
Thank you, MP Mr. Franz Richardson. MP Mr. Regina Labega.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And a hearty good afternoon to the Minister and the Director of the Airport and the board members, and especially those that have contributed. I see the members of the Cincinnati Council for Organization of the Expedition. Obviously, we would like to give them acknowledgement. Madam Chair, in listening this afternoon, just like many of us that may be listening at home, and for a lot of us that have been trying to figure out what this whole issue with the airport is about. And it is very strange, Madam Chair, that the issue of the airport. Hold on 1 second, Madam Chair. There's someone in the tribune playing music, and it's disturbing the members of Parliament. Hope it does not take up my 20 minutes of time.
No, I'm looking at our staff so he could give the directives as has given before this meeting starts to help keep order in this Parliament House. So I apologize for the delay.
Thank you very much.
And disturbance.
In myself, Madam Chair, in trying to figure out the whole issue of the airport and how all of a sudden the airport has been in the media. And when you go online, you listen and you see those or an individual that may be extremely blunt. Someone that I question sometimes. Post certain things online and post certain things in the media. And I'm saying to myself, what really is the validity of most of these things that I read? And maybe I think a little different. I'm not one of those to jump on a bandwagon because it is something to jump on or to be satisfied with some type of emotion and to get carried away without stopping and thinking for 1 second. It was mentioned a while ago concerning an issue of a briefcase being reimbursed. Then you hear statements of whether or not the managing director of healthcare or social insurance, whatever the case will be, is paid for. Then you hear all of these other things. And then you sit down here, Madam Chair, in the Parliament Hall, and I'm trying to find out what is the overall priority right now for some of these meetings that we have. And saying that, Madam Chair, some of these things that we as members of Parliament, and just so that the people of Samar can understand, did not just happen yesterday. Some of these issues that we are facing, some of these issues that some of our rogue individuals among us in society are trying to bring up, are issues that every single faction in here who had opportunity to govern, the issue was there already. And so sometimes I'm flabbergasted, Madam Chair, and I have to be honest with myself and honest with the people of St. Martin, that sometimes when we ask certain questions here in Parliament, we forget that we were once in control of government at one particular period of time. As though these questions or these queries were never there. And all of a sudden, now that we are no longer controlling government, we have a wall of questions and inquiries. And so I am wondering, what have we really done, or those that are questioning or have these inquiries, were they not important at the time? Was it not a pause for a cause to figure out, okay, what's this issue with this briefcase? Can you explain this to me? I'm now in government now. What is this issue that is going on with the airport? I'm now in government now. What are these issues that are going on with our so-called symbolic board of St. Martin? I'm in government now. And so I wonder, as a 34-year-old young man, what really some of our stalwarts who have been in here since I was going to the Mac school, since I was going to the St. Martin Academy, what really have been done by some of our stalwarts during this period of time. So I am flabbergasted, Madam Chair, and I have to be worrisome, because I think for any company, Madam Chair, in St. Martin, any company in the world, I was not fortunate enough to go to school in Holland, but I went to a small town in Washington, D.C. to go to school. And so you are taught that when you have certain issues that are going on within a company, and they are documented issues, that when you have a financial issue within a company and something goes wrong, that you have to hold certain people liable of certain financial decisions that was made. When information is being leaked out of certain companies, the question that we should sit down here in Parliament and ask the managing director of the shareholder representative, the board, operation board, supervisory board, is simple. How can information be simply leaked out of a government-owned company and to be given to a single individual who seems to have his own areas of political aspirations that publish these things out in public like this? What is the accountability? Maybe I operate a little different. Maybe I don't know. But these are some of the things that I am worried about. Because when I look at a newspaper and I look online, not a newspaper, sorry, when I go online and I see these things, I'm asking myself, this is an issue of national security. So how do you deal with someone or a situation of national security like this? I will answer to Sirius because she was not sure what I said. How do you?
Sorry, MP.
That's okay.
No, just to put order in accordance with the rules of order.
Yes, ma'am.
We do have light moments like this, and this sometimes, but it is precisely because we do not adhere to the rules, which is that the public, also the MPs, but certainly also the public, should not have disturbances or with their laptops on, music on, phones on, etc., to disturb the deliberation. So I request the members of the public to please either turn off or turn down their devices, electronic devices. MP Lovely, you may proceed.
Thank you. So, Madam Chair, the way I look at this, I look at it as a case of national security for Simon. That you have a government-owned company, that information is leaked out to certain individuals for whatever reason that may be. And let us not look at it as just an airport. But I remember one time, Madam Chair, that on a radio program on Sunday, when the situation was going on with our former minister, Sir Ronald Duncan, when he was being bombarded by Holland, the Bosmans of the world, the Aztecs. And in that statement, I said, we don't have to take this lightly. Because today it may be him and tomorrow is another one of us. And how far does it go? And so, Madam Chair, today is the airport. Tomorrow is the harbor. The next day is GB. And then it comes on our doorstep as Parliament. Sensitive information is being leaked out. The government, our government administration building, sensitive information is being leaked out. And so I look at this as a greater debate, as a greater discussion of how do we look at a situation like this. Do we jump on it because we may get political mileage? Or do we finally, for once in our life, look at the bigger picture of all of these things? But, Madam Chair, with everything that seems to happen now, there's always a hidden agenda towards it. And so the question that I have today is not necessarily some of the things that was posed, but it was to the representatives there. What action now will be taken to make sure that a situation like this is minimized? That is basically what it is that I have to ask. Because all of a sudden, you get the conversation, the talk of the airport seems to be in the limelight now. Before it was the harbor. Now we've ridden that horse as much as we can ride it, and we don't know more with it, so we're finding another government-owned company to jump on. Whether in fairness or whether not in fairness. And so I think as members of Parliament, we need to be a little bit more responsible in certain ways in which we approach certain things, and certain questions that we ask as if we were never in a position to do something better. Because every single one of us here had an opportunity to govern. So when you have questions being asked, as though they're trying to figure out, I mean, which country you were governing. Some of us ask questions, we shareholders, representatives of some of these companies. Same airport. Really? Were you really in charge of this government? And so, if you look at all the negative things that have been said about what has been going on, and I had my reservations too, Madam Chair, when the whole conversation with the Pelican started. I had my little, I was kind of concerned too. But in being there on Friday for the inauguration, I can tell you the price of those Pelicans was not an issue for me. But it was a symbolic moment in the whole country. We speak so much that we love this country, that we want to safeguard some of our national heritage and all of these things and our symbols. That was a landmark moment. And you can strip, Ms. Judy, oh, that's okay. That's your application to proceed. To start in the House of Parliament. And so,
MP Labega, for the third time, I apologize. MP Labega. Can you please take action so that the MP is not disturbed? Please continue.
and so, Madam Chair, we have to really be to understand and to be serious as to how are we going to be able to deal with some of these issues or a vision for this country. It cannot be that every single faction, every single member has a different vision where this country is concerned. It has to be that there must be an overall total one vision. And whomever has the opportunity to do it better gets in and does it better for the people. And so, Madam Chair, with all the negative things that have been said, I just want to take a little time to highlight to the members of Parliament and to the good people of Stomata.
I didn't say anything was her.
A lot
It
of
wasn't me.
the things
It wasn't me.
the
Government, it wasn't me.
airport with the helm of
And wait,
the
the one
managing
remains that I
director.
disturbed. I didn't say anything. Remember? You said the lagoon. I didn't say anything. I'm not.
I adjourned this meeting for a couple of minutes. Meeting adjourned.
You have this thing on.
Everything on, and I didn't say anything. Romaine called the wrong person. It was not me. It wasn't me, Robbie.
You know how to happen.
Yeah, he said, I said it wasn't me. It was not me. So why do he said Judith remote is making a disturbance, and you said the lagoon. It wasn't me. He said Judith remote. I don't know.